Hello, world. This is CuzTheInternet podcast. I'm your host, Trey.
And I'm Zay. Let's get into it.
So, on some serious news, Derek Chauvin trial just finished. He was found guilty on all charges. How do you feel about that?
I don't feel away right now.
Okay, yeah.
And I say that because, okay, yeah, he was found guilty, but like the judge still has to make the sentencing, right? So how long is he going to get? Is it going to be one of those things where you just get a slap on the wrist because, oh, yeah, I mean, he was doing his job. It was a little excessive, but you know what? He was still doing his job and he was a fine man at the end of the day. So we're going to give him 2 years house arrest. Like,
Yeah.
nah, I ain't trying to fall for that. And then also on top of that,
Hmm.
reason why I'm really not like excited about it or happy about it is because he's the sacrificial lamb for the boys in blue, the blue
Yeah.
lives matter. Like, okay, yeah, send him away. Okay, suppose he gets the maximum sentence. Suppose he gets 75 years. Okay, that's cool, but it's still happening to our family, friends, kinfolk. So I mean, I
Hmm.
can't be happy about it until the system is changed. Do you understand what I'm saying?
A hundred
So
percent. 100%.
I mean, I'm not happy about it. They need to change everything, like abolish the police. But hey, that's another story for another day. How do you feel about it?
No, honestly, great points you brought up. Great points you brought up. The thing is, I was happy for about 5 minutes until the reality set in that this is this is one of so many that like unless like you said the whole thing changed, the whole system changes, it's like I'm happy hopefully George Floyd gets his justice, but I just it's sad that we have to look at one case and that's supposed to make the whole black community feel great. It's just like, don't get me wrong, I know this is a horrible thing to say, but it's like when OJ was found innocent and how we all
Yeah.
just felt like, you know what I mean? Finally. And it's like, why should a whole group of people feel like that when it should just
Hmm.
be a real thing? We shouldn't be looking at it as a white officer killed a black man and we're hoping that there's justice. We should just be hoping there's justice in general on any case, on any color.
Exactly.
But we don't have that privilege. We have to just
Hmm.
watch each and every case and just pray that there's some justice that comes out of it. And that's kind of the sad thing right now. But again, not to just put a damper on it. Hopefully, this is a move in the right direction, holding police accountable for their actions. And no, I'm hoping it's just hope. That's all we could do. We could fight towards it
Hmm.
and we could hope. So so that's why I'm just hoping that this will show that your actions do have consequences. Um, yeah, go
And
ahead.
to be completely honest with you,
Mm.
it's going to take another, I don't know, 100, 200, 400 years for things to change. Because, I
Yeah,
mean, this has been going on. And
100%.
now that things are being caught on camera, it's still not even black and white. Like, hey, we saw you do it. It's still, well, what was the reasoning for it? Maybe this, and there's always a justification for it where it's
Yeah,
like, you see it plain as day. The only reason why this whole Derek Chauvin thing is happening
yeah,
is because it was excessive. Like, it was nine, almost 10 minutes of him kneeling on his neck.
yeah.
So I mean, they have no choice but to be like, okay, like there's no way we can get around it. There's no way we can. So we're gonna have to do it because it is on tape. People have seen it. It's
The
the
whole world.
like
Yeah,
exactly. So there's no way for them to get around it. So it's like, you know what? Here, be the sacrificial lamb. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Like you'll go
yeah.
to the jail where you still get cable TV and you can wear your own clothes and you can go on visits when you want to and you can come back whenever you please. Like he's gonna get the presidential treatment in jail. Like they're not
Mm,
like it's not going to be rough jail. So it
yeah.
doesn't make a difference to me what happens to him. But I mean, at the same time, like there was another thing where two young black men got arrested. The story goes they were in a car and they were at work. So I think believe they were brothers and they were driving. So now there's a dude yelling racial slurs at them outside and he threw something at the car. So one of the brothers got out the car to see if there's any damage on the company car. At that point, The dude who was yelling at them pulled out a firearm and started firing after them. The brother who got out, I believe, got hit, I want to say in the leg, testicle, maybe something like that. The other brother pulled out his firearm. Now, the two brothers, the one who pulled out the firearm, he was licensed to carry a firearm. So it was illegal. It was legal. So he started firing back at the dude. It got the dude in the ass. Now, at the end of the day, the police came, whatever the case may be, and the two brothers, because they were young and they're black and they're poor, they had to get like the public defender.
Yes,
They just got a public defender.
Yeah.
And the public defender was like, okay, you know what, guys, cop a plea deal. You guys get 10 years each. What? So they copped the plea deal. The dude who was firing at them and yelling at them first, white male, he was on probation for murder, and he bought his gun from a crackhead. So how are they getting a plea deal and going to serve 10 years in jail for defending themselves against a known murderer who got a gun from a crackhead? Like, it's not a registered firearm. So
yeah,
see how it, like, it's like,
yeah, but 100%. But of course, it's the system that's messed up. But even past the system, it's a situation like that. You have to know better. You have to know your rights. And don't get me wrong. I know in a perfect world that would not be the case. If people were just honest, if the judicial system was just honest, we would not. But you can't trust anybody to put your best interest in hand. So you have to know, like, no matter what, at the end of the day, I am not going to take a 10-year bid if I know that I was defending myself. And that's where, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that certain laws in certain places don't have certain rules, but I just can't see how they were convinced that this would have been okay.
Because they were speaking to a lawyer. A lawyer told them it was okay. And this is my thing. If they did decide, you know what, I ain't taking this, I'm going to take my chances and go to trial. They don't have money to hire a lawyer.
Yeah.
And that's what the problem is. Like, a lot of us, we don't have like generational wealth and 100%. Rich families and businesses that flourish, and we have money coming out the wazoo. So therefore, we do what we got to do to make ends meet. 100%. They probably didn't have enough to do it, so they got the legal guardian, which was free. And the legal guardian's like, hey, the legal defender, sorry, guardian, boyfriend, the legal defender. And so the legal defender is there, and I mean, you're a lawyer, you're supposed to tell me like, hey, this is what it is. And if you're telling me, hey, the best we can do is 10 years, you guys just like take it. And so it's like, okay, cool,
I get you. I do. You get what I'm saying though.
Like, I get what you're saying, but I mean, the thing is, when you're like, now, you and I know, in the heat of the moment, and when things are happening, whatever it is, we will know better to be like, no. I mean, at the end of the day, even if I don't have it, I know I have family who I can reach out to and be like, hey, can we scrape this together so we can do this? I'll start a GoFundMe if I have to be like, hey.
But you're also allowed to say, I don't like my lawyer and I want to get a new one. Like, you're allowed to ask for another one. So again,
no, I understand what you're saying. But at the same time, when they're facing this and they're nervous, scared, frightened, because they're like, I can go to jail for defending myself, and you already know how it is for us.
How you probably don't know, but how young or old were these guys? I know you said young, like, but old enough. Like, if they're 18 or something, I fully get it. But if they're 25 or older, I'm sorry, man. Like,
I don't feel like they were older than 25 though.
But you get what I mean? Like, 18, you're still a teen, no matter what anyone said. And I'm not trying to put blame, because the world shouldn't be like this. But you can't take a 10-year. You know what I mean? You can't cop out to 10 years when you have a registered firearm and someone's shooting at you. Like, that's legit the whole point of having a registered firearm. So, but again, we digress. again,
Yeah.
hopefully this is like I said, a sign of things changing, where there's going to be some accountability. In a perfect world, we wouldn't be looking at color. We'd just be like right and wrong, and that's all that it would be. But this is not a perfect world, so we do have to clarify that at least George Floyd hopefully will be receiving some justice, and
Mm,
hopefully there's, as we've heard, plenty of cases that's happened since then, and hopefully all those are just tried fair and true, and justice is brought towards
served.
anybody.
Yeah.
Justice is served exactly, and that's all that we want.
So now, I mean, that was very heavy to start off the conversation. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to lighten the mood a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if you. I mean, it's not really lightening the mood. It's just changing the subject.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard or saw the post where the game is talking about like basically being the man's man and letting his woman be a woman. No, I'll read you.
Okay.
I'll read it to you. Okay, so he says maybe I'm old school, but my woman ain't paying one damn bill. Not rent, not mortgage, not a car note, not nails, hair, clothes, phone, or groceries. If you're taking care of home, cooking, and effing the ish out of me, life on me. Period. What
Okay.
do you feel about that?
All right. So, the thing is, I don't think he's wrong, but I also don't think he's right. I think
Hmm,
that it's really however you choose to live your life and whatever agreement you have with your partner. So I don't, for me to say he's wrong, no. Like if that's just the way he
exactly.
lives his life, if he's like, yo, you're gonna be my girl, I'm gonna take care of you, that's just what it is. Yo, that's you guys' relationship. But then if another dude's like, yo, we both work, we build together, we try to create wealth together, that's how we doing it. That's how y'all do it. So I really like I would expect that I choose his side or not. I do choose his side, and I also choose anybody that sees it a different way.
Hmm,
Whatever works in your house works for your family. And I
yeah,
don't see nothing wrong with what he's saying. If anything,
yeah,
I don't see
exactly.
it. I just think that that's his right to feel that way. If it works
Hmm.
for him. And I know that's really a base, but
No, no,
that's
no.
honestly
And I'll be honest with you, I feel the same way. He's
okay.
not wrong for doing it because I mean, hey, that's what like I believe in one of the posts he talks about like he's seen his mom struggling and stuff like that. So he was like, yo, he don't want
Yeah.
nobody he's with to have to go through any of like that. So he was like, and I was like, and I respect him for that. But I was like, the way his bank account set up and my bank account set up, I can't pay for everything. I mean, we can go Dutch, we can go
Oh,
halfsies,
you that dude. You that dude.
we can go halfsies, you know? Like, I mean, shoot, we're both living here, we're both eating the cereal, we both using the electricity, we both
That's
using the
fact.
water.
That's
I mean,
fact. That's
shoot.
fact.
I mean, but all jokes aside, no, for real. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with
No.
splitting the bills
No.
either. Like,
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
and
I
that's
fully
it.
agree.
So there was somebody who where is it? I have to find it because she commented on it and she was going off on the internet. So she goes, social media is so annoying because in real life, women date short men date women with no ass, titties, women go 50-50, men paying for rent and vacations, etc. People just argue for the sake of arguing online. And I was like, and I feel like she hit the nail on the head. Like,
100%.
do you Mountain Dew? Like, if
Yeah.
that's what you can do it.
Yeah.
If that's not what you can, like when Quavo and the Sweetie thing and the Birkin bags and how, oh yeah,
Mm.
that's the only way. Yo, if you can't get your girl a Birkin bag, like it's like, okay, you're living through the eyes of people on social media. You
Yeah.
see they do it, so you think that's the standard. That's what I have to do to be
Mm.
like the man, a
Mm.
baller, the boss. Like, nah, just make sure your family is good.
Yeah.
Keep them safe and protected. Make sure there's food on the table, there's a house over their head, there's clothes on their back, and it'll be a-okay.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you have to compete with anybody else online because 99% of the time, the people online are not even living those lives that you think they're living.
That's the truth.
So you're seeing vacations. Maybe it's a vacation they took like how many years ago? And they're just
Yeah.
posting it now. Oh, yo, posting pictures of a private jet.
Yeah.
Okay, stock photos. Like stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I mean, just
No,
do you. Like
you're
don't
right. You're 100% right. And again, that's the whole big problem is just people are living for it. And the thing is, just to get back to the game part,
hmm,
sometimes it's still 50-50, and just the man wants to play the man role too. Like you get, so even if he is paying, let's say, all the bills and taking care of all the time, my question is though, if you don't want her working, don't want her doing anything, if you guys break up, what does she have to fall back on? That's my honest question. If
Exactly.
unless like
And
that's against your moral code, like you will never break up, you won't hurt her. If I respect that 100%, if that's how you're living and that's how you're moving. But if you are treating it like a random relationship, but you just don't want her to have financial stability, I have a problem with that as well. I'm
I
just
was
saying.
thinking that when I read it, I was thinking about
Mhm.
that exactly because I was like,
Yeah.
okay, now even if suppose it's not even a random relationship, suppose you guys are married,
Yeah,
okay, married, the house is under your name because you bought the house,
exactly.
everything is under your name,
Exactly.
and now you guys divorce. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, I'm not saying you should divorce. I mean,
No, if it
I don't
happens.
wish divorce on anybody,
Yeah,
but I
but
mean, it happens
yeah,
in the real world. It does happen. So you
exactly.
guys get divorced. What happens now? Do you say, you know what? I'm gonna sell the house and give you half because you did take care of the home. I'm gonna
E-
like, or
Exactly.
is it gonna be, well, no, this is my house. You moved
And
into here. This is my
exactly.
like.
That's
So
my
that's why I was
thing.
like,
That's the part where I kind of have a hang up when people say, I'll take this, I'll do this, I'll buy you this, I'll buy you this. It's like, are you buying it and giving it? Or is it buying it, but it's still your name on it? So if anything happens, it still belongs to you. Because I would not tell any woman to fall into that if they are not 100% sure that that person has their well-being in mind when they're making these decisions. But again,
mm,
that's just another caveat to this conversation. But no, overall, I don't see nothing wrong with it. But again, I don't see anything wrong if somebody chooses to go half and half and build their life together as well. So,
mm.
uh, but it's definitely a good one. Definitely a good way.
Um, another thing I saw, it was just Twitter users that were online and they're talking about their most awkward dates. So it says, what's the most awkward date y'all been on? One girl wrote, or one lady wrote, I went to a restaurant with this N word, and when it was time to pay, he started making new cash apps to invite people for $15, and one of them was me.
Wait. So he
Took her out,
took her out, and
you
then
know.
what do you mean inviting people for $15? I'm not.
So he created another cash app, so this you can request money from people.
Oh, so he was
So
requesting just random people.
yeah, and she was one of the people he asked.
Wow.
Then another dude, he wrote, we went out to eat and she ate her steak like a taco. She folded it with her hands and ate it. No knife, no fork, just vibes. So, with that being said, I know you're a married man now,
Yeah.
but before you were married, do you have any awkward or interesting, funny dating stories?
You know what? I'm positive I probably would, but you asked me on the spot. Like on the
I know.
spot, I can't think of anything that um out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? Like I guess I've been lucky, bruh. I guess I've been lucky in my life. Go ahead. How about you? How have you done?
So yeah, um, I think of one experience. Like
Mm.
it always, anytime I think about it, it's always what sticks out in my mind. It's always that. Um, I went to a speed dating thing.
Oh, so see, I don't even know you went on a speed dating vibe. Oh,
Yeah.
snap.
Like
Okay.
you know when you watch like comedies and they go on speed dating thing, and then it's
Yeah.
just the different people that they meet, and you're just like,
Yeah.
wow, huh? Oh, okay. Yeah. It was all those emotions
Are
and
you
more. I was like,
serious?
why am I here? Like, I don't know. I mean, I know why I was there because my friend was like, oh, come, please, please, please. I don't want to go alone. So I was like, all right, I'll go. And that's why I went. And boy, like there was one lady who I met before the speed dating started. So she
Okay.
was sitting down by herself. I was just getting over. being sick. So I still
Okay.
was kind of stuffy and whatever. But I was like, all right, I told her I was gonna go, I'm gonna go, cool. So he went. So how it worked out was go do the speed dating. After the speed dating is done, and then it's gonna turn into like a club, a party. Anyways, before that, there was a girl sitting down by herself. So I was like, okay. So I went, sat down next to her, and started talking to her because I was like, I mean, I'm really just here just to support my friend because she was doing it.
Yeah.
So I went and started talking to her, and she was cool. She was talking about her family, stuff like that. Told her a little bit about myself, my family, and everything was cool. And I was like, all right, cool. Everything's everything. So now the speed dating is getting ready to go. So we're like, okay, cool. See you later, whatever. Go do the speed dating and now meet all these random people. Like there was one girl who it was weird. Like she like I was like, okay, you know you came to meet people. Maybe she got like she came to support her friend like I did.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to talk to her and it's like she don't want to have a conversation. Not that she doesn't want to have a conversation. I feel like she didn't know how to carry a conversation. So,
Mm.
you ask them about themselves, but maybe it was my fault. Maybe I wasn't asking open-ended questions. I don't remember because it was years ago.
Mm.
But like I'd ask her things, she'd be like, yes, no, yes. No emotion either. Not like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was yeah, no,
She wasn't
no.
digging you, my G.
Maybe she wasn't.
Nah,
I don't know,
I
but
remember you back in the day. Your game was whack. You ain't had no game, bruh. I taught you
I
everything
did
you
it.
knew, bro. Everything you knew. I was like, yo, come to school, bruh. I taught you, man. You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's what you taught me. That's why she was like, nah,
She's like,
no,
no, you're
no.
corny. I was
Yeah, but nah,
like,
it was an interesting experience. I won't say it's a horrible experience. I mean, it was funny after, like
yeah.
thinking about it, talking about it. And I mean, I did meet a girl that I dated for a while through there. So I mean, it was pretty cool.
What
And the only
was
reason
I in a
why
coma? What was the hell,
and
bro?
see, the thing is, she was the most interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, no, there were. No, I can't say she's the most interesting because there were other interesting ladies, but
yeah.
it's because she was like, "I bet you won't remember my name by the end of this," and I was like, "Oh," caught me off guard because I was like, "Wait, what do you mean?" And I was like, "Now I have to make a point to remember her name. I don't care what any other girl's name is here. I have to remember her name."
Yeah,
And I made it a point to remember her name. I really don't remember any of the other girls' names there because I mean,
yeah.
I wasn't focused. I was just like, okay, cool. So I made a point to remember her name. And then, like, after it was done, when the party happened, I went and bought her and her friend a drink because her
Mm,
friend was one of the girls that I met during the speed dating as well. And I was
yeah.
just like, okay, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, I made sure, went, called her by her name, and
Mm.
gave her a drink. She's like, oh, you remembered? I was like, yes, I did. We spoke, got her number. Okay, cool. So, game was not whack. I took your
Ah,
advice.
first of all, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But she actually ran game on you, bro. She totally
She really
ran.
did.
She
She really
definitely she
did.
got
I'm
you.
not even gonna pretend.
She
I'm
definitely
not even
got
gonna pretend
you.
like she did.
Yeah,
Because the truth is, if she didn't say it, I would have just been like, all right, and I would have been on to the next one.
exactly.
But the fact that she did it, I was like, oh, okay.
But I give you credit. You understood the opening. She left the opening and you took it.
Yeah.
So that's good. But overall, she ran game on you.
I mean, yeah, that was my experience.
Oh, that's a very interesting experience right there, bro.
Yeah.
So, Baby Blue, I don't know if you heard from Pretty Ricky. And he's in critical condition. He had a music release party type of thing. I believe yeah, I don't know exactly where. I'm not gonna even mix myself up, but he had a music release party. And then he went outside of the venue, wherever it was gonna be
Mhm.
at, him and his friend, and a car pulled up with like two dudes in it to try to rob him for his stuff. I guess he did. It didn't go as planned. He got shot 2 times. And yeah, critical condition right now. Looking pretty bad. So yeah, that's all. Just prayers out to him and his family.
Yeah, definitely.
Secondly, I just want to get your opinion on this because growing up, I've always heard this, and when I was younger, I used to live by this, right? Like, if you can't protect what you have, you shouldn't wear it. And I used to honestly be ignorant because I think that's actually personally think it's an ignorant way of thinking.
Hmm.
Um, and I'll get into why I think that, but I'll let you. So how do you feel about that statement, just in general?
Um, I mean, it's a messed up statement. I mean, I get it, I understand it, but it's
Yeah,
messed up because I mean, I'm working hard for what I like and what I appreciate and what I think is dope.
yeah,
And because somebody else, I mean, wants it, they're gonna rob me for it. And it's one of those things. Okay, suppose I have a gun because I
mm,
decide, you know what, I'm gonna protect mine. Like nobody ain't taking nothing from me. This and
yeah,
that. I'm that dude. Okay, cool.
mm,
Now, with all that being said, a van pulls up. 7 guys jump out. 7 guys with 7 guns.
mm,
Okay, cool. Now, if I decide, you know what, nah, you ain't getting me. I'm gonna pull out my gun. They're gonna pull out their guns, and we start shooting. Maybe I hit one, two. I don't know, but
yeah,
chances are they're going to hit me. Like, am I really willing to lose my life over it?
yeah,
So this is why, like, as a youngster, like wearing the big chains and this and that. Okay, cool. But I
yeah,
mean, I also was not the type of person to wear it any and everywhere
okay,
if I wasn't with people.
yeah,
So if I'm going to strange, unknown lands, I'm not wearing big old dirty chains and rings and because I don't know what I'm walking into. I don't
yeah,
know who's going to be there, so I'm not taking that chance. But
mm,
if I'm going and all of us are there, like all of our family are there, like obviously I'll wear it because I mean
yeah,
I know families surrounding us, so nothing
yeah,
will happen. So I mean I get that mentality.
mm,
I don't agree with it because I mean your life is not worth any of these material things. Like
yeah,
I mean the truth is, if somebody ran up on me like you know what? I'm kind of ignorant. Don't listen to me. But your
yeah,
life is not worth material things. So if
yeah,
somebody runs upon you to take your stuff, I mean, hey, give it. Hopefully it's insured. So this way you can get your money back. I'm not saying risk your life for a gold chain
yeah.
or a couple of $100 in your pocket. Like, no.
Mm.
But you, what were you going to
No,
say now?
I agree with what you're saying, and that's my point of why I say it's ignorant way of thinking. When I was younger, and that's why I think that it's actually a bad way of thinking, and it's a bad thing to kind of keep throwing out there, especially to the youth. Because again, when I was younger, that's how I used to feel. I would wear my chains and whatever anywhere, just feeling like, yo, it is what it is. If I and that's horrible to believe or think that way. Like, no, there's certain things that I believe every man should be willing to die for. And then there's certain
Family.
things, exactly. And then there's certain things that hell no, you shouldn't. Like any kind of material item is not worth losing your life for. Worst case
Mm,
scenario, if you're really about that life, just hopefully you remember their face. Live to fight another day. But don't give up or don't, when you're outnumbered, outgunned, try to save some jewelry that
yeah.
you still won't be able to wear. And that's honestly why I think it's ignorant, because I just think it's a bad saying and statement just to the youth that don't necessarily know better and think that you lose respect or you're not quite a man if something like that happens. In actuality, it can happen to anybody, but you're better off losing a chain than your life. It's that simple. Um,
Yeah.
and so the way I used to think then is not the way I think now, which I'm happy about. And that's it. I just wanted to get your opinion, and I really just think it's an outdated due to the fact that there's so many people that have died for these material items, and
Yeah.
again, you have nothing to show for it at that point. You can't help your family anymore. So is that $30,000 chain gonna feed your family for the rest of their lives? And you're supposed to be here to be able to contribute and
Yeah.
raise your kids. It's just not worth it. So,
Exactly.
yeah, that's why I just wanted to throw that out there because I just want to make sure if there's any kids or anybody listening, just make smart
Yeah.
decisions. Certain things are outdated, and that gangster mentality of someone can never rob you. So many people have gotten robbed, and again, if you
Yeah.
are about that life, live to fight another day. It's that simple.
Yeah, nah, I mean, even so, it's not really not that word. Like, no lie, I respect,
Mm.
not that I don't respect people who have big chains and all that stuff, but I mean, like, the rappers who don't buy the stuff. Like, it's just like, why do I need to wear gold and flash money all the time for you to
Mm.
see or know that I'm rich? Like, no, I can invest in other things, make my money that way. I don't need to impress anybody. Like,
Yeah,
a lot of the times these people do it for social media.
yeah,
They'll buy the
definitely.
big chains just so they can flaunt it and show all the money they have. And it's like, no, it's not worth it. Like, and this is where you can tell who's matured. You know what? I don't even want to say they're
I wouldn't
immature, but
say
it's
that,
just,
no, because
it has nothing to do
again,
with
it's a
immaturity.
fashion statement, right? And then I
Yeah.
want you to see me out there with a big chain and just be like, look at this different chain. So just leave me alone, all right? Um, but all I'm trying to say is that it's not worth losing your life. You got
Yeah,
more
it
to live
really isn't.
for, like that. And yeah, that's all. I just want to change that whole narrative about you being a punk or not gangster or whatever else if something like that happens. Because too many people are dying or getting hurt for no reason. Something that you that half the time isn't true.
Yeah, the
Like
new gangster is staying alive, making moves to take care of your family and friends if need be.
exactly.
That's what the new gangster is. And it's not to boast to anybody, prove to anything to anybody. Just prove it to yourself that you're good enough, you're the man, you're dope, and that's all that matters. At the
Exactly.
end of the day, like, this will happen today. Suppose you get robbed, okay? Suppose really you got robbed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you, but I'm
Okay,
just
I was
saying,
about to say, God
like,
forbid, bro. Like, go
like
ahead. Yeah.
you were talking about the dude from Pretty Ricky.
Yes,
He
yes,
got robbed. Okay.
yeah,
Suppose he gave his chain.
yeah.
We already know how social media works. They're gonna flaunt the chain on the internet for a
Mm,
couple of days, and they're gonna put it up on the shade room, this that. They're gonna talk about it, and by next week it's done.
yeah,
Nobody's gonna remember about it. And now this happened to you 10, 20 years from now, when you're basking in your glory, you're making all your money, you're still feeding your family and stuff like that, and they are done spend off whatever they got for the chain and spread it among everybody.
yeah.
No one's going to be talking about it anymore. No one's going to remember, hey, you got robbed. Or even if they do remember you got robbed, okay, I got robbed, but I still have all this to live for and all this to show. They have
Exactly.
nothing to show for it. They still have the chain that they took. Okay,
Bro.
congratulations.
And even past that, half the time they end up getting arrested because of it, because they're showing it all over the internet and
Yeah,
then they get arrested for it. Like, and that's not even the point. My point is that even like some of the toughest people records and they're promoting this stuff have been robbed. Like Drake has been robbed. Like so many people. Drake openly talks about it. Like I'm not saying it's so cool to be robbed or not. It's just you live. You live and you could
exactly.
like and that's kind of the way I'm going with it, man. But
He
yeah,
who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. Like, just, hey,
exactly.
okay, cool. Um, the segment. I was thinking of another name. It's called The Internet Said. It's the one that we
Okay.
spoke about last week, where I said called it post internet, but I was like,
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna call it The Internet Said
the internet
because
said.
this is stuff that the internet has said.
All right, all right, all
This one, it says, are you ready?
right. I'm ready.
Okay. Your ex sends you $4,000 on your birthday, and your current lover asks you to send it back. Would you?
Are you really asking me that?
Yeah, yeah.
Hell, not now, player. Yeah, yeah, I would. I would definitely send it back. I know I would feel extremely violated if that would happen to my partner. So the same, I would. Again, I'm all about being 100 with it. So if I wouldn't be
Hmm.
okay with it, I wouldn't expect my wife to be okay with it. So yeah, I'd send it back. How
Okay.
about you?
Okay. And this is me being completely honest. If my ex sent me 4Gs
Yeah,
and my girl said, yo, send it back. I mean, she doesn't feel comfortable with it, I'd send it back.
yeah.
But if her ex sent her 4Gs, I was not telling her to send it back. I say send a thank you note to him and tell him we said
Mhm.
thank you for our trip to insert trip name there
Yeah.
because you're gonna send her $4,000 for what? Like, okay, you're trying to spoil it, but yeah, we're together, so thanks for the money, but it don't make no difference. Like, you're not getting
Yeah.
anything from it. So if you want to give $4,000, give $4,000, but you ain't
Yeah.
getting nothing. So thank you for paying for whatever we are going to do because we are together.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's just me being honest. Like,
No,
I'm not telling you to send it back, but
yeah.
if
What you're
you told me
saying
to
is a
send it back
hundred.
because you don't feel good about it,
Yeah.
I would definitely send it back.
What you're saying is a hundred, and you're definitely keeping it player. But me myself, I'm not cool with that, man. You keep that, bro. There's no reason for you to be sending my wife any money, bro. You keep it. We don't need it. But I don't knock people that are like, you know what I mean? I know that's just the way I think. I understand the benefits of keeping $4,000. Like, it's not that I'm totally
Yeah.
oblivious to this concept. I'm like, I fully get it. It's just I'm not cool with it personally, but I fully get
Hmm.
it. So, and again, if I got $4,000 and my wife was like, cool, I'd be like, cool. But it's just that I know
Yeah.
that I wouldn't be okay the other way around. So it's not that
Yeah.
I would just be like, I was like, yo, we good? I could keep it.
I
So,
can keep it.
but again, the other way around, that wouldn't be cool. So I would respect it if it was
Hmm.
reversed.
Off topic. Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant estate, they opted not to renew the
Nike.
Nike deal.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I don't know mad details on it,
Hmm.
but my question, like, do you know anything about it? Obviously, you know of it.
Oh yeah, I know of it. I don't know the details, but I don't knock them. The reason I don't knock them, okay, the thing is, I think remember he started off with Adidas,
Yeah.
then he went to Nike. Now I remember, and this is my personal opinion on it, so there's no facts here other than the
Yeah.
actual facts. So when he went through his thing with Colorado, Nike like lowballed him with his contract and all that stuff, like when he was renewing his shoe deal with them and whatnot, and all that. So me, I knowing his estate and his wife, she seems very smart. She probably just like, listen, I know Adidas, pretty much any shoe deal would love to get
Yeah.
into business with us right now. So why would I just re-up and give you maybe they might just re-up with them, but once there's a bidding war. And
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot more sense. And plus I wouldn't just give them that much respect because I didn't like personally the way that they again, I personally felt like they lowballed him with the once that Colorado thing happened. So yeah, I would definitely make them
Can I
fight
ask you a
for it.
question?
Yeah.
What's the Colorado thing?
Well, see, I don't want to speak bad on my man Kobe, but when he was
Gotcha.
accused of
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
And that's what I
and
thought
that's
it
what
was, but I was like, you kept saying, I was like, people might ask, like, what is it? But I mean,
yeah,
yeah, just
yeah,
Google it yourself if you want to figure it out. But yeah,
exactly, exactly.
but then, okay, this is also another thing.
Mm,
Now, you know what? Like, you know how people say you're your biggest like critic, you're your biggest fan.
mm,
That's incorrect. You are your biggest critic, yes, but your biggest fan is your partner, man. They
yeah.
always have your back, and they're always like, nah, you need to do this, this, and that. So I mean,
Mm,
I was like, okay, but if he still went along with the deal, why is she not doing it? But it could
mm,
have been one of those things where he was like, you know what, it's cool, whatever this and that. And she's like, nah, yo, if that was me, yo, I wasn't doing it. Nah, nah.
yeah,
And so now she has the opportunity. She's like, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna do it. You
exactly,
disrespected him, like, nah, we ain't gonna play those games. Like, and I get it. I
exactly.
do get it. So I was like, okay, cool. But I was just like at first I was like, I wonder why she turned it down. Like I was like, why? Like,
Mm.
I don't know. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
again, I don't know. This is just my speculation. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
thinking like, why would you re-up a deal with them when you know you could have a bidding war? Like everybody
Mm,
would be trying to get into business with the brand. So I would definitely wait to see the numbers, and then plus I wouldn't just give them because I've always had a little minor issue with Nike since then. LeBron just coming into the league and he's making more money off of his first deal before he even
yeah.
plays a game than Kobe. I was like, come on, man. Just because you know he's going through his ordeal right now.
Mm,
Not cool with that, bro. I wasn't cool with it.
yeah. So I have another question for you. Should a man pay his baby mother's rent? He does not live there. Somebody also commented, should a man pay or contribute to the shelter of his kid or kids? The answer is yes. He should be contributing to groceries too. You know the basics, food and shelter. Unless the kid lives with him too, that's a different story. No, I mean, like we said, social media is a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
People see this and they'll be like, "Oh, I got to floss. I got to show everybody that I can do this and this and that." Like, yo, you ain't trying to impress nobody. Just do what you have to do for your family, your wife, your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. So now this is also what I thought about this. Okay, I'm paying her full rent because my child is with her. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now she gets a dude. So I'm paying for her and her dude to
Yeah,
live free,
bruh.
and you already know how it is, where it's like, I mean, we're not together anymore. I don't have to report anything to you, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you I have a dude. But it's
Mm.
one day, little Jimmy's gonna come home or come see me and be like, "Hey, Daddy, yeah, Uncle Bob was over." Who's Uncle Bob?
Yeah.
Mommy's friend. He stayed the night because, yo, who's Uncle Bob? Oh, well, been seeing this guy and he's like, nah, like,
No,
I'm
I
not
agree.
paying your rent. Like,
Yeah.
yes, if my kid
Yeah.
needs like food, okay, cool. I'll send you money
Mm.
for groceries. If my not like, hey, a month time is like, okay, groceries, clothing, this and that. Okay, cool. This is what you
Exactly.
need. Or it's like, okay, send him to me. I'll take him shopping, and he has
Yeah,
everything he needs.
I
So
agree. Yeah.
there's different ways, but to pay their rent,
No.
no, I don't see that.
And it's a slippery slope. That's what I was gonna say. Because just like with anything, once you let someone have control over your life, you can't just kick them out of it afterwards. So if you have a man and vice versa, if you have a woman that's paying your bills, paying for your house, paying all this, of course, at that point, it's kind of like it's their house because they're paying for it. So they're gonna want to know who's in that house. They're gonna want
Yeah.
to. So you're actually, whether you realize it or not, giving them some power in your personal life. So if that's
Mm,
not what you want, you have to be very conscious of what you allow people to
yeah.
contribute or take care of for you. Just throwing that part out too. Maybe that
No,
shouldn't be the way, but that's just real. Um,
it makes sense.
yeah. So, but yeah, no. I don't think any part of the rent should be paid. I'm being real about it. I don't.
Mm,
But I more agree with what you're saying. As far as you take care of your kid. Like that's it. Like
yeah.
I think that it should really be that simple. Um, People they go through, half whatever money you're making, half of it has to go to child support. All these other rules, I do not agree with. And I might be on an island, so how I feel is that you should just have to take care of your kid. So
Mm,
if the kid is hungry, if the mother or if the father, whoever the kid stays with, calls you and says, "Hey, I don't have any groceries. What you call it? You need food, or he needs food." You have to be there. Like regardless, I think that a parent, your duties don't just stop with just seeing the kid once and maybe
yeah.
no, like you have to make sure you're still there for the kid. So no, I think I agree with more with what you're saying as far as if the kid needs clothes, you can take the kid out to get clothes. If the kid needs, if there's food and overall, it's just the your baby mother and the baby there and she's spending $300, $400 on food each month, you can contribute to that because you know your
Mm,
kid, that's what your kid is eating. Like I'm just saying, there's ways of, I just don't necessarily believe in, if I'm making $5,000, 2,500 has to go to my kid. Like what? Like
yeah.
have that stuff makes no sense to me. On another note, since we last spoke, Black Rob passed away. Prayers out to him and his
Oh
family.
man.
Again, sad note. He seemed like when we spoke on our last show, he see his health. He was having health problems. He was homeless. Just going through it. Hopefully, he got some resolution between that time and his passing, because I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of people reached out and was trying to help him. So
Yeah.
I just hope he at least some of that pain went away.
Mm,
And yeah, that I just wanted to throw that out, man. Just prayers to
yeah.
him.
Prayers out to him and his family
Well,
and friends.
and to
Um,
him, family, friends,
yeah,
and fans. But yeah,
yeah. What bothered me though is people going for Diddy, because Diddy was just like, yo, he put up a post saying like, you know what, he was a beautiful person,
yeah,
cool, cool, and
created
whatever.
history and all this stuff.
And then people are going off on Diddy. Oh, you didn't care, you did. But I was like, okay. At the end of the day, Diddy was his boss. So
Yeah,
I'm not saying I don't know their relationship. I really don't.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, it's one of those things. You go to a job, you work at a job. You now no longer work at that job.
hmm
So you have nothing to do with the job, but hey, you were a great employee when you were there. You helped make the job money. Okay,
hmm
cool. And now you pass away and the job hears about it and they're like, oh man, sad to hear, like whatever, he was such a lovable person, this and that. It's not on the job to be like, well, you guys didn't look out for him and this and that. It's not his
yeah,
fault.
yeah.
Like, I mean, anyways, that's just my personal take on it. I
And
don't know.
what you're saying isn't necessarily wrong. I think uh even though a record label is a business, I think it's a little more personal than your regular 9 to 5, or at least it seems it's portrayed more personal than your regular 9 to 5. We know that it is portrayed that way though. Like it is portrayed that it's a family, bad boy for life
Okay, hold on,
of the
hold on.
family.
It's
Go
portrayed
ahead.
as a family, but then when things don't go right, you
Yeah,
all hear them complaining about the contract. They don't want to be there anymore, whatever.
exactly. No, you're right.
MMG,
Yeah,
they were dope, and then all of a sudden, Meat Mill and Wale, oh, you're a weirdo. You this. It's like, okay, like,
yeah,
yo, calm it down. Like, keep this behind closed doors. Like, we don't have to do all this.
yeah,
Baby and Lil Wayne, like, yeah,
yeah,
it's cool. Like, even when you go to work, you're like,
yeah,
yo, this is like my second family. Like, yo, I come here, I chill, we talk, we crack jokes, we do everything. Like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. But it's still not their, like, once I'm not no longer there, it's not their responsibility to take care of me anymore.
No, you're
They don't
right.
they don't have to check up on me. They can always be like, yo, that was a dope dude. Like, yo, he was very like whatever. If they hear about my passing, it's like, oh man, he was a good one. But
Yeah.
it's not up to them to be like, yo, let's like I mean, it would be nice if they were like, you know what, let's like put something together for his family, whatever. But they're not obliged to do it.
100%, 100%. But again, I think that what you're saying is right. There
I
should
know
be
it's right. That's why
no,
I said
it's wrong now. It's wrong,
it.
but no.
Wrong.
The wrong. The thing is, Diddy, the way, like I said, people are only going by what they've seen. So due to the fact that, again, it's portrayed bad boy for life, they're supposed to be this close, this bond, this. So if they're portraying that, and the next thing you know, you see Diddy in his mansion in LA, living this life, living that life, and then you hear one of his biggest artists are homeless and going through health problems.
Was he still signed to Bad Boy or was he a former Bad Boy artist? I know the saying is Bad Boy for life, but was he still signed to Bad Boy?
I've heard once bad boy, always bad boy. So
Because of how he does his contracts. But that's not true.
exactly, exactly. Okay. That's the point. No, no. But honestly, I don't know. I'm not putting it on Diddy, but I do understand just why people are concerned. Because when you're seeing, again, music is one of the few jobs, we'll call it a job, that people really feel connected to you and connected to whatever movement you're bringing, and you have a big part in their life. So when you're able to see behind the curtain and it's not what it seemed or it's not what they preached, people do take it personal and they do try to hold you accountable for it. I'm not saying it's right, but it's just that's what it is. So when you see one thing, you heard Diddy having bad contracts, or Diddy, you heard these different things throughout the years. But it's another thing seeing one of his artists going homeless and not having money or nothing to show for it. Then you hear another one of his artists going through that. Like it's different when you actually see it. And that's all I'm saying. Like we've heard the Locks complaining about their record deal and trying to get their masters back. We've heard about all these things, but then when you actually see somebody like struggling and you see how dark the music business can be or how it can leave you, I won't say it can be, but how it can leave you, it gives you a different perspective on the people that are drawing up these contracts, or and the fact that after they're done with you, they spit you out. It's I think it's a little different. It's like hot dogs. People love the taste, but once they see how it's made, majority of the time they can't stand it. And the same thing with the music business. We all love it. Amazing, amazing videos. Diddy doing his dances. We love the artists he bring out. But then when we actually see that these contracts are bad and a lot of these guys are screwed over, and a lot of them, when they're done, have no money, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Once again, this is Cuz the Internet Podcast. I'm your host, Trey.
I'm Zay. And remember, if it's on the internet, we may talk about it. Hey, you.
I